Magic the Gathering players are on the hunt for the One Ring. We're going to talk about the rule situation in Warhammer 40k 10th edition, and Gloomhaven is coming to Switch. All this and more in this week's Hobby News, as brought to you by CMO Games. I'm Angela, you're watching Hobby Night, now let's get to it. Have you picked up your copy of Leviathan yet? I have, and I was going through the rulebook yesterday, live on camera with everybody, and it occurred to me while I was looking through everything with the live stream folks that the rules in Warhammer 40k are 60 pages long. I distinctly recall Games Workshop making a big claim that the rules were going to only be roughly 5 pages, and then the only additional rules that you would realistically need were the ones specific to your faction of whatever you were running. And that is not the case. We have a 60-page rules in our rulebook. We also have had an 18-page errata already, fixing some things that weren't covered in the rules and clarifying some things that were a little bit confusing. And I foresee this not being the last of the FAQs that we're going to end up seeing for Warhammer 10th edition. And I think a lot of folks out there are feeling the same way, and there are some concerns coming up because this is a major problem. Games Workshop does have a serious problem when it comes to producing rules for their game and then having to immediately FAQ them. They did this in 9th edition, they have now done it in 10th edition, and I can only foresee the problem getting worse because Games Workshop has a playtesting problem. They just do not have enough people or enough time to be able to dedicate to actually playtesting and testing every single faction against every other faction to actually make sure that this game is properly balanced. And because of that, we're actually seeing the GT scene affected by these rules. In fact, we have a couple of different competitive scenes that are specifically banning a couple of things, and I find this to be incredibly interesting because it's mind-boggling that this is happening, that a competitive scene is having to literally go, no, we're not allowing these rules, we're gonna house rule a bunch of things because we just think this product is broken as written. The people who last year had banned the Votan from their league in Germany have again banned a variety of different leagues. Or not leagues, but different rules. You can see those listed here if you want to look at them in more detail, but they have house ruled a variety of different things. In addition to this, we have another GT scene called Bug Eater GT that has banned the Eldar just outright. You can't play the Eldar in their GT circuit because Games Workshop has written some things for the Eldar that they consider to be broken. That would be unfair to the rest of the players, and until GW addresses these, they really don't want them participating in the tournament. And I can't necessarily blame them if they genuinely think the rules are broken or are going to give an unfair advantage to people who are running the Eldar factions. But this is also really disappointing because as a player, you want to be able to go into a tournament scene with whatever faction you want to, and you want to be able to use the rules as Games Workshop has hopefully written them. And Games Workshop is really not making it easy for this to occur. And I don't know specifically how they can actually address this, and I can only foresee the problem getting worse as their game continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger, which it is on a trajectory to do because 10th edition has been very popular, people have been super hyped for it, Leviathan has sold very, very well, and people are loving the new miniatures, and I don't think that's going to stop. So I don't know what GW can do to fix this problem. I'd love to hear your thoughts about maybe what they could try. I know obviously one of the biggest, easiest answers is, well, just allow more people to start playtesting the rules and maybe don't go ahead and send the books off to the printers before you've gotten that feedback from those playtesters. But with the cycle at which they're having to produce content, I don't know if they can adjust that much and actually accommodate that plan because of their production schedule. So what other things could we have them do? I'd love to know your thoughts down below. Let's go ahead and talk about it in the comments. And now a word from today's sponsor, CMO Games. If you happen to live in the US and you're excited about being able to pre-order any of the upcoming Warhammer 40k 10th edition products, well, look no further than CMOgames.com. The folks over at CMO Games have been doing this for 20 years and they really know their stuff and they specialize in Games Workshop products. So if you're interested in Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, or even my favorite, Blood Bowl, they've got you covered. Not only that, but they also have a variety of Magic the Gathering cards, Pokemon trading cards, as well as board games. So if you're a mega nerd like me, they are a one-stop shop for all of your favorite products. And if you happen to live in the continental US, well, you've got an even better deal coming for you, because if you spend $50 or more on their site, you can get free shipping on your order, which is really not hard to do when you're shopping for Games Workshop products, Pokemon, or Magic the Gathering. You can find a link to cmogames.com in the video description below. Not only does this help support a small business, but it also helps support this channel. Thank you once again to CMO Games for sponsoring today's episode. Now let's go ahead and get back to the video. We're going to go ahead and talk about the potential shortage of data cards out there, especially at your friendly local game stores. Because if you have not heard, Games Workshop is making it so that retailers must buy the data cards that you can get to help you know all the rules for all the various units of your faction as bundles, rather than individually. Now, this is not specifically uncommon for Games Workshop to do. There are other products that they sell to retailers exclusively in bundles because they don't just want to ship one-offs of these things. Specifically, I'm thinking about their Citadel paint line. You can't just, as a retailer, go and, well, I have one person who's requested this one pot of Abaddon Black, please just send me one. You have to buy them in packs of 6. And for the Space Marine and all of the other factions, all of the data cards, they're selling them to retailers in bundles. And we can take a look at those here. So for the Space Marines, you've got a nice breakdown of one of the various factions and then 4 of the generic cards. You've got the Imperium, which has a pretty decent breakdown. You're getting 2 of most things with 1 or 2 of just the Mechanicus and Knights, which honestly I think is a huge missed opportunity because I think Knights are going to end up being really popular in this edition. So a lot of people may not end up being able to get their hands on these cards. And then the Xeno and Chaos bundle. Well, the Chaos one I think is actually the most well-rounded. You just get 2 of everything in that. So I think picking up some of those for retailers is probably going to be a no-brainer, and they probably aren't going to have to restock them that much. But the Xeno one is specifically where I think this whole situation for retailers really sucks. Let's pretend you are a game store. You have a very active Warhammer 40k community. You have very specific players who've been around forever, and you just have this thriving 40k community. Let's assume that amongst those players, you have 3 Orc players and 0 Tau players. If you had to buy this Xeno bundle for your players, assuming that all 3 of those Orc players explicitly wanted to be able to buy these cards, which let's face it, as Warhammer 40k fans, we tend to like to buy all the little accessories because it makes us feel cool and they're fancy. We like using them, right? So let's assume all of those 3 Orc players want to buy these cards. That means this store is going to have to buy 3 of these Xeno bundles just to get the 3 packs of cards for the Orc players, meaning that they're going to end up with 6 of those Tau card packs with no one to potentially guarantee sell them to because their community doesn't specifically have any active Tau players in it. And that just feels really, really unfair to the retailers. Like, it's really no skin off the back of the players. We can probably just buy these cards directly from Games Workshop. They'll probably be available online. Hell, they'll probably be available through other retailers as well, and you probably are going to be able to grab them as you want to, especially since most retailers are likely to get larger quantities of these at the very beginning when they're going to be hottest and most people are going to want them. But later on down the line, if they're going to want to restock these, it's going to be really difficult and probably not worth it. And we as players, if we really want to, we can just go download them for free off of Games Workshop's website. They have them available. You can even print them out, cut them down, put them into card sleeves, and still have a physical card to reference if you wanted to, if you didn't just want to have it digitally on your phone or something like that. So for us as players, no skin off our back. But this really bites for the retailers, and I just wanted to talk about it because I used to work at a privately owned game store, and this would have pissed me off. And I really feel bad for anybody that is wanting to carry these, because my bet is too that Games Workshop is going to require these stores as part of their program to keep some of these just on hand, but probably not all of them. But you're going to end up with all of them anyways because they sell them in bundles. It's just kind of a sucky situation that I wanted to bring to light. It is our precious. At least that is probably what the Magic the Gathering players are thinking right now, as they enjoy opening up boxes for the Lord of the Rings pack that just released this past Friday as the new set. Now, there is one specific card that is creating a lot of drama for the Magic the Gathering players, and it is the One Ring card. This is a card that is available only through the collector's booster packs. So no other booster packs are actually participating in this hunt for the One Ring, but if you're into buying the collector's booster boxes, I feel bad for you right now because the Lord of the Rings ones are going for astronomical prices because of this One Ring card. For those of you that are unfamiliar, Wizards of the Coast decided in their infinite wisdom, and I actually think this is kind of a clever idea, but oh my gosh, is it creating some inflation in the price of these boxes, they decided to make a singular One Ring card, a one-of-one card within the collector's boosters that somebody can find, and that card is going for a butt ton of cash, like $500,000. It's crazy expensive, and people are on the hunt for it. And because of that, the prices of the collector's booster boxes has skyrocketed to $500+, and it's only expected to go up the longer it takes for people to find the One Ring card. Collectors and investors who are buying these booster boxes up with the hopes of either finding the card or selling the card or the booster boxes to people who are looking to find the card are probably going to be very excited by this whole thing. And it's just an interesting situation. Like, of all of the things that Wizards of the Coast has done when it comes to Magic the Gathering and trying to do these weird schemes to make their product like way more valuable than it actually is, because it's all just cardboard and like ink, they have done it. And I think this one's actually really clever because it actually plays into the IP itself. So if you are hunting for the One Ring, I wish you luck. Try not to go broke on those $500 plus booster boxes as you do the hunt, because good Lord, that is intense. But if you find it or you're having fun with it, let me know down in the comments, because honestly, it's a wild thing to be doing. Hey guys, I just wanted to jump into the video real quick to remind you to subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications so that you never miss any of the hobby content that we make here on the channel. There was a recent Nintendo Direct, and amongst all the gems coming to the Switch, we have one from the board game world. So let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer for Gloomhaven, coming to Nintendo Switch.
Rated T for teen.
Click. Ooh, it looks really cool. Pre-orders now available, cool. I really actually enjoy their environment and character work in this game. And honestly, it looks like it has pretty good reviews, coming to Nintendo Switch September 18th. You get the gold edition. Apparently there's some pre-order available. Now, this is pretty cool. Gloomhaven is a very popular game in the board game world if you are unfamiliar with it. Massively successful, a great RPG adventure that just honestly did really well amongst fans of campaign style games. And this is not the first time that Gloomhaven has come to a digital platform. It is actually currently available on Steam, but this is the first time that it's come to the Switch. And I, for one, think that is an excellent place for it to be. I want to get to the, let's see the date again. So we have, make sure we got that correct. I think it's September 18th. There we go. So this is the first time that's coming to the Switch, and I think that's a perfect opportunity for the Switch because, to me, that is such a travel console. If you are on a plane for a long period of time, pull out a Switch, it'll take your mind off of it, and that flight goes so much faster. And Gloomhaven, I think, is a perfect game for travel. It's also just a console you can carry around really easily in your bag with you. So just having the portability of Gloomhaven in your pocket is really cool, especially when you compare it to the fact that the board game version is this gigantic, massive box that is like larger than the Leviathan box. It's that big, it's super weighty. It's such a fun game, but it's cool to see it go to digital and end up on the Nintendo Switch September 18th. Next, we're gonna dive over into the world of Cool Mini or Not with their Zombicide franchise because they have a brand new expansion. Let's watch the trailer. We have seen the Slow Walkers and the Toxic Boys. These are some of my favorite. I do actually really like the Armored Walkers. Silly Walkers, my goodness. Okay, those are actually delightful. So I will caveat this. I have seen very little of Monty Python. I think I've seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail like once. I do recognize that song though. I've seen clips. I just don't think I've watched it like in its entirety or anything like that. Those are great. Okay, Hell's Grannies, they're fantastic. My goodness. That man was naked.
Now that's what I call a dead parrot.
I like that it's actually dead. The Spanish Inquisition!
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Okay, they're pretty glorious. Okay, I admit, even though I am not super familiar with all of the gags from this, because like I said, I've not watched that much of Monty Python, I do actually really like the look of that. Let's go ahead. I want to get back to the end screen because I want to see when is this actually coming out.
Oh no, my brain hurts.
I understand, friend. All right, well, you can pre-order now. They don't have a date. All right, well, they apparently don't have a date. I will have to look that up separately. I was really hoping it was going to be in this video. Does it say in the description? Of course not. Why would you do that? Well, let's just check and see when the pre-order says it's available, because maybe that will tell me. April 2024. That is exactly what I was looking for. Thank you, Zombicide, for making that really difficult to find. This actually does look very fun, though, and if you're a fan of Monty Python, I imagine a lot of these miniatures might really, really speak to you. Honestly, I kind of want to pick some of them up just because they're really unique, and I feel like I've not painted that many modern, and I mean, not all of these, I guess, are specifically modern, but some of them are, and I feel like I've not painted that many models in this vein, and I really do like the Zombicide figures. I think they are fantastic. Check this one out for certain if you are a fan of Monty Python. Last but not least, Games Workshop has an online preview announced. They have a small trailer for it, so let's go ahead and watch that together and find out all about it.
Did you know there's more to life than Warhammer 40,000?
What? Really? I have not heard this.
I know, but hear me out. It's been a busy time for 40k recently.
I'm sorry, I had to
there
go
are
along
loads
with
of
your
other
joke a
great
little bit.
Warhammer systems with amazing releases just around the corner that we're excited to share with you.
Okay.
So join us on the 1st of July at 2 p.m. BST for an
think
online
that's 6
preview
a.m.
of
for
releases
me.
from the Mortal Realms, the
Oof,
Age
that's
of
gonna be an
Darkness,
early stream.
and the Old World.
The Old World, what? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, there you go. You heard it here first. We're getting a brand new online preview for not Warhammer 40k because they're done with that. They've launched Leviathan. We're gonna take a small break from that for a little while. And honestly, I'm okay with that because I want a focus on the Old World. I want to see even more of the new models featuring the Bretonnians and the Tomb Kings. That sounds absolutely amazing. So you can be expecting me to do a watch along live stream where we're going to be reacting to everything that they have to announce, beginning at the ungodly hour of 5:30 a.m. PST, because they decided to do this in the middle of the day, British Standard Time, and that means it's really, 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 really early in the morning for me. So I hope you guys are ready for probably a very excited but possibly groggy Angela as we react to everything that they're going to reveal. I hope you can make it to the stream, and I am looking forward to it immensely. All right, that has been it for this week in hobby news. Thank you once more to CMO Games for sponsoring today's episode. Do make sure to check out the link that I've left in the video description below if you're interested in maybe pre-ordering any of that upcoming Warhammer 40k 10th edition products, or heck, even any of the stuff that they might be showing at that future online preview, which I am both looking forward to, but also not looking forward to because of the hour. Now, before I head out, I do want to give one final thank you to my patrons as well for making it so content like this can continue to happen. Without your guys' support, we would not be doing this, so thank you very, very much. I have been Angela, and I hope you have a wonderful hobby night.